Hello, my name is Softy Autumn Puppy. Oh god, I'm super nervous because I don't really do videos. However, I do streams and I'm way better at that. So why don't you go check me out before anything else? Of course, unless you want to watch this, then you can watch this if you want to do that first, and then the link's not going anywhere, just please. I have a topic that I really want to talk about. And it's been on my mind for a really fucking long time, so I just made a list of it, and we're just gonna go through the entire fucking thing. This list is essentially my personal opinions on if you do, or you're planning to do them, or you think that they're a good idea in any sort of way when it comes down to having your own kids or other people's kids. You're a bad fucking parent. And you shouldn't have kids at all. Oh, and it's also coming from someone who would never fucking have kids and also despises kids. Number one, and this is a big fucking ick for me. It makes me so like uncomfortable when I hear it. If you make your kids address you as sir or ma'am, immediately no. Listen, I'm not one to talk since I don't have kids and I'm not planning on having any. But if you do this, if you make your kid address you as sir or ma'am, as like a respect thing, I don't care. I would fucking hate being your kid if you fucking even considered doing that, just as a respect thing. They are your children, not your fucking workers or your fucking servants or anything like that. I hate that for whoever's you're doing that to. Because, ew. It could be a respect thing. They are your child and they should address you as mom or dad or father or whatever you would prefer. Parental guardian. Don't fucking make them address you as if you're like higher status. You might be higher status because yes, you're the parent, but you're not that high of a status where it makes your child lose their status of them being your child in the first place. That's what I think. And that's how it seems in my eyes, and this just always give me the biggest ick. Disgusting. Next one. Recording your child as punishment and then posting it on a social media platform or online. That's fucking disgusting. Listen, parents who do this already, you clearly don't know how the internet works, and if you do, you just hate your kid that much, in my opinion. Let's put you in a scenario with your parent, and let's say you were misbehaving. You didn't do like you didn't do your homework or something. You didn't fucking take out the garbage. You didn't wash the dog or some shit. I don't know. And then your parents are scolding you. Not only that, but you're crying because they're scolding you. And then they whip their fucking iPhone 32 Pro Max in front of your stupid little child face, bawling your eyes out, nose running like there's a marathon going on, eyes red, and they're scolding you even more while having a camera in your little face. They use it as punishment, but also they post it online. Now, parents, this is probably where you get a little bit confused, where you get your little millennial or like boomer heads a little bit confused, just a little, so make sure you pay close attention, okay? Even Gen Z parents, I don't know if you guys do this, because I only heard of millennials and boomers doing this, but Gen Z parents, if I have to include you in the mix, I will. So make sure to perk your cute little ears, just like me. Ready? See how I'm perking my ears up? I'm perking my little ears. That's what you should be doing too, okay? Okay, good. Listen closely. I'm about to tell you how the internet works. When you post something online and it goes viral, do you understand what viral means? Viral means when hundreds of thousands of millions of people see that video with their own two eyeballs, right? The second that video is online, and at least maybe like 100 people see it, you're fucked. That video is not getting taken down anymore because everything is saved. Even if you deleted it, everything is still there because someone else could have saved it. Someone could have clipped it, streamed it, posted it on YouTube in a compilation, anything. As soon as that video is up, or picture, whatever, that's there. And if a lot of people see it, there's a high chance someone's gonna save it. If these people save that video of like you bawling your eyes out because you didn't do one chore that your parents told you to do, and now you're crying and your face is online and exposed and showing how you act, fucking, you're screwed. That's there forever. You can't just go into everybody's like browser history or their YouTube compilations and delete that video. That's like literally impossible. That's there forever. Guess whose fault it is? Your parents. Now I'm gonna take you out of that scenario. Now you're back to your adult self and you have your own kids. And use what I just said to your fucking knowledge and use that in your tiny little ant brain to figure out what that would mean if you did that to your child. That would be possibly devastating for them. And if they ever show their face on the internet again, and so maybe like a decade or maybe 2 decades later, maybe even less, maybe even more, people are gonna recognize your child and be like, hey, weren't you that person crying because your mom scolded you and you didn't do your chores? Whose fault is that? Yours. Dad, mom, don't. Because you posting that video is losing your child's trust, your child's dignity, and your child's possibility of peacefully showing their face online. Anyways, moving on to the next one. This one was one that I never seemed to understand. I just can't tell if your ego's so far up your ass that you just decide to do this out of free will. But it's taking your child's door. For me, I always lived in an apartment complex. I've never, ever, like, lived in a house before because my family could never afford it. So I've always been in apartment complexes, and you can't alter shit. These, like, super strict parents freely taking their child's door for no apparent reason, just because maybe they lock it, maybe they close it to like be safe. I don't know. Parents who fucking take away their child's door, what the fuck is like actually wrong with you? Why would you feel the need to be so angry or so upset at your child that you take away their one-way ticket to having some peace, some quiet, some privacy, some comfort? And I'm assuming that if they said something about you taking their door, that you'd punish them even worse. And I don't fucking get it. I don't understand taking away the door and thinking that that's gonna do anything. The only thing that that's gonna do is tell your kid, I can't trust this person, which should be devastating for you as a parent, because you're supposed to like automatically have your kids be safe with you because you are all they have when they first spawn in this world. You are literally all they have for the first like 5 years of their life. And sure, they can make friends in kindergarten and shit. They can make friends in first grade, second grade, third, fourth. But you're supposed to be their number ones. You're supposed to be like their top tier, like, oh yeah, I could trust this person. The fact that so many kids that are Gen Zs, like me, trust the internet, like people on the internet, they trust way more than their actual parents. Because holy shit, parents to my generation, you should be depressed to hear that. To hear that news, you should be devastated to hear that. You lost their trust completely. You lost them completely. And you cannot get them back. You have to have a good reason to do it. And even then, even if the reason is good enough, I still don't think that you should do it. If your household is toxic to the point where they probably need to have a safe space to just shut in, hang out, close their door, don't fucking like take that away from them. That's essentially what you're doing, is taking away your kids' privacy. And like, I understand, like, for some cases, like, younger kids don't need privacy, but teenagers and up, they sometimes do. They're trying to go through emotions, they're trying to figure themselves out. Maybe they want to have a conversation with their friends. Maybe they want to experiment with themselves and like put on makeup, put on dresses, put on like boy clothes, girl clothes, like non-binary clothes. I don't fucking, maybe they have to change too, like, and then you walk in on them changing. That's just fucking awful. And I don't see the good need to do that to your child just because you don't like the fact that they have privacy. You need privacy as an adult, which is what you are if you're a parent. Well, sometimes I do know like teen parents are a thing and stuff. You are a human being and you also need privacy. Do not dehumanize your child from the only thing that they probably have in your torturous household. And I know I'm assuming a lot when I say torturous household, but if you're taking away your child's door, I assume that it would be a torturous household. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Taking away items or electronics. Now, this is something that happened to me often when I was younger. I am 19, but every time my father took away my electronics, I just hated him for it. I grew up with electronics at the age of 5. And in my age, at least for me, I started having memories. I fully loaded in and I was able to comprehend shit. I was sentient finally. Since I practically grew up as video games and electronics being my comfort zone, I became very hostile if someone took my electronics away. Sometimes when my dad would get upset at me, sometimes for no good reason, sometimes just because he wanted to, he would take away my phone. He was taking away the one thing that made me happy. He would take away my phone, which had all my friends, and then all my socials and all my YouTube. It never benefited anything. It never, like, did anything right. It never fixed me to be a good kid. When he took away my electronics, it didn't do him any good. I started not wanting to talk to him often. I went months without talking with him if he took away my electronics, and my mother didn't really see the point in doing it either, and so she wouldn't care if like he was at work and I was on my phone or anything when I wasn't supposed to. Taking away your child's electronics is extremely not beneficial. Please take this into consideration that your child's belongings are your child's belongings, and you cannot just take them willy-nilly like that. Next one is disowning your child for a hobby that they have. I know what you're probably thinking, like, oh, furry, your parents disowned you. What? No. So many people on TikTok, like, posting about, like, oh, if my kid was a furry, I do da 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 da. There was one TikTok that I saw of, like, a woman, like, taking a belt and hitting their kid. If your child is into cosplaying, is into being a furry, a Therian, or they want to do something like photography, they want to do something like videography, or maybe they want to like be a musician, a singer, and you're not okay with that? Ugh. If you're not a generally accepting person, or you cannot learn to be an accepting person, do not have kids. Because if you have a kid and you expect them to be a certain way when they grow up, you do not deserve to have kids, in my opinion. Not letting your child live a life that you forced them to have is awful. And I wouldn't want to live like that, and I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't want to live like that. You don't feel free. You don't feel like you want, or you don't feel like you have the ability to freely express yourself and what you want to do. Maybe, let's say you do become like a musician and like you want to pursue it further, but you can't because your parents stopped you before you got any closer to being what you wanted to. And then you decided further along the way, wow, I really want to become a musician because I like this thing. I like this hobby and I want to expand on it. They no longer can do that because you shut them down. Because you weren't accepting and because you wanted to force your standards on a child that doesn't know shit about the world, yet you apparently know everything. Your kid is not a spawn of you. It's not a clone of you. It just has your genetics. It doesn't have your personality, even though growing up around you could affect them to have your personality. They are not you. You could be a lawyer and they would want to be something completely out of that field and backwards just because they want it. And you're not accepting of it because they're not exactly like you. Don't be that parent. That's fucking embarrassing. Another one is thinking fear is a good way for your kids to listen to you. I get so annoyed at parents who do this. You're supposed to be your child's safe haven, your child's guardian. You actually deserve that title of parental guardian. If you think inducing fear into your child is a good way for them to pay attention, listen to what you have to say, do whatever you want them to do, even if it's for something so simple like cleaning their room. You say to clean your room and it induces fear in them to do it. That's awful. And essentially fucking training your kids like dogs. Kids are not to be trained. Kids are to be taught. When it comes down to teaching, to clean is a simple task that does not need a hostile parent to come in with like a belt or like a sandal or like a spatula or a spoon, and then the kid immediately starts cleaning, because it's the same thing as commanding a dog. Let's say you want your dog to sit, but the only way that you think of them sitting is holding their favorite toy out to them. So you show them this toy and they immediately sit. That is the same thing when it comes onto your child. Your child sees that you have a sandal, a spoon, a spatula, or a belt, and they immediately start cleaning. No questions asked, no words said. That is training. Your child is not a fucking animal. They are a human fucking being. I've said this already in the beginning of this fucking video. They are humans and they deserve to be treated like humans. As much as I do not like kids, they deserve to be treated as humans so they can grow up into decent humans in the future. Insulting your child depending on their body or appearances is a big one, a big one, because I grew up chubby my entire life. My parents often put me down for my weight or my hair or how I look that day. It's not a good effect when you're still a growing human. If you feel like insulting your child's appearance in any way is good parenting, or if you feel the need to do that, put them up for adoption, because they do not deserve to live in an area around you if you're going to treat them that way. Insulting your child's appearance can permanently damage them for the rest of their life. And it'll take so much for them to change their outlook on themselves if it did work, which I'm sure it will, because if you influence a small child, it can stick with them because they don't know shit about the world. They are a piece of walking half of you, and you're going to go and insult them? Absolutely fucking not. This can tie into the not accepting your child's hobbies, and it is not accepting your child for who they are, because I see in so much media, so many like TV shows and like shit like that, that some parents are very pushy on their children and want them to be like a doctor or a lawyer or a surgeon, just because that's the highest tier thing, so you can have bragging rights. They are not you. They are not you when it comes down to the same likings, the same hobbies, the same taste for maybe like music or clothing. or aesthetic, they are not you. They are not a walking clone of you, and you should not expect that of them. If you immediately want them to like pursue one of your own dreams, you're awful. Just fucking do it yourself. If you had kids just so you can expect them to pursue your dream that you couldn't pursue yourself, you're pathetic. Forcing your child to probably go into a field that takes 1/4 of a lifetime to achieve? Holy fucking shit. I think being a doctor, you have to be in like fucking college for 8 years. I don't know that for sure. It's a long time for your child to go through K through 8 and then go to high school. Like, go to high school 9 through 12. And then on top of that, they have to go to college for 8 years or more just to be something they don't want to. Constantly pulling themselves to get through their fucking mundane day because that's what you want of them. That's what you expect of them. And now you've put this pressure on them that they cannot get rid of because they don't want to disappoint their parent. All those hours, days, years of your child pushing through something that they never wanted in the first place and seeing others pursue their own dream that you didn't allow them to have is fucking awful to think about. Last one for this video is gonna be not allowing your child to have freedom. Not allowing your kid to have freedom is just gonna make them feel entrapped. And I'm speaking from my perspective personally because I've had to go through this. I probably go out on my own maybe once a year. And even then, I can't leave alone. Someone has to come with me. And even if I go with my friend, my best friend, even if I go out with him, I would be not allowed. I would be lectured 20 times before I actually leave. A lot of people going through the same thing that I am, even worse, feel entrapped too and feel like they can't go and do anything and almost feeling desperate to go out and see the world because I don't know a lot of shit about the world. Don't fucking do this to your kid. And sure, I understand a parent being worried, but also not letting your child explore for themselves is super deteriorating on them being a functional human, because what about when they get a job? What about when they're trying to learn how to drive? This is all essential human skills, and not allowing them to be free and explore is going to deteriorate their essential human skills. That was it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I apologize if some of you watching went through everything or some of the things or even one of the things that I listed on this list, because some parents just don't deserve to have kids or even be called parents in the first place. Parents who are watching this, if you did anything on this list, you're fucking awful, and I hate you. And I know it doesn't matter that I hate you because you don't know me and you never deserve to have kids, but there they are, thriving without you. I sure hope. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. These are just some of my opinions, by the way. Please keep that in mind, and please feel free to disagree with me, agree with me. I would like to know some of your opinions as well on this topic matter, because I feel like it's not really talked about enough. I have more on the list, but I didn't want to make this video too long to the point where it would be a bore. That's all. Please go follow all my socials. Thank you so much for sticking with me and dealing with me. There's a leaf blower outside that I hope nobody can hear. If you want to see more of me, subscribe to my channel, this YouTube channel, and on top of that, go follow my Twitch. I'm on my Twitch 3 times a week. This has been my opinions on parents. And if I offended any parents, if you're offended, that means I got under your skin. And I sure hope that I did, because I feel like you deserve to be angry today. Because you probably did something terrible. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure to follow all my socials, and I will see you guys on Twitch or on Discord. I love you, shorties.